Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of The Longing. Today we are once again going to be continuing to read Homer's Iliad, making our way through bit by bit. So, let's begin. The god of battle issues on the plain, stirs all the ranks and fires the Trojan train. In form like Acamas, the Thracian guide, enraged to Troy's retiring chiefs he cried, "How long, ye sons of Priam, will ye fly, and unrevenged see Priam's people die? Still unresisted shall the foe destroy, and stretch the slaughter to the gates of Troy? Lo, brave Cneas sinks beneath his wound, not godlike Hector, more in arms renowned. Haste all and take the generous warrior's part," he said, new courage swelled each hero's heart. Sarpedon first his ardent soul expressed, and turned to Hector these bold words addressed. "Say, chief, is all thy ancient valour lost? Where are thy threats, and where thy glorious boast? That propped alone by Priam's race should stand Troy's sacred walls, nor need a foreign hand? Now thy country calls her wonted friends, and the proud vaunt in just derision ends. Remote they stand, while alien troops engage, like trembling hounds before the lion's rage. Far distant hence I held my wide command, where foaming Xanthus leaves the Lycian band. With ample wealth the wish of mortals blessed, a beauteous wife, and infant at her breast. With those I left whatever dear could be. Greece, if she conquers, nothing wins from me. Yet first in fight my Lycian bands I cheer, and long to meet this mighty man ye fear. While Hector idle stands nor bids the brave their wives, their infants, and their altars save. Haste, warrior, haste, preserve thy threatened state, or one vast burst of all-involving fate. Full o'er your towers shall fall and sweep away sons, sires, and wives, all an undistinguished prey. Rouse all thy Trojans, urge thy aids to fight. These claim thy thoughts by day, thy watch by night. With force incessant the brave Greeks oppose. Such cares thy friends deserve, and such thy foes. Stung to the heart the generous Hector hears, but just reproof with decent silence bears. From his proud car the prince impetuous springs, on earth he leaps, his brazen armour rings. 2 shining spears are brandished in his hands, thus armed he animates his drooping bands, revives their ardour, turns their steps from flight, and wakes anew the dying flames of fight. They turn, they stand, the Greeks their fury dare, condense their powers, and wait the growing war. As when on Ceres' sacred floor the swains... As when on Ceres' sacred floor the swain spreads the wide fan to clear the golden grain, and the light chaff before he breezes born ascends in clouds from off the heapy corn. The grey dust rising with collected winds drives o'er the barn and whitens all the hinds. So white with dust the Grecian host appears, from trampling steeds and thundering charioteers. The dusky clouds from laboured earth arise, and roll in smoking volumes to the skies. Mars hovers o'er them with his sable shield, and adds new horrors to the darkened field. Pleased with his charge and ardent to fulfil, in Troy's defence, Apollo's heavenly will. Soon as from fight the blue-eyed maid retires, each Trojan bosom with new warmth he fires. And now the god from forth his sacred fane produced Cneas to the shouting train. Alive, unharmed with all his peers around, erect he stood and vigorous from his wound. Inquiries none they made the dreadful day, no pause of words admits no dull delay. Fierce discord storms, Apollo loud exclaims. Fame calls, Mars thunders, and the fields in flames. Stern Diomed with either Ajax stood, and great Ulysses bathed in hostile blood. Embodied close the labouring Grecian train, the fiercest shock of charging hosts sustain. Unmoved and silent the whole war they wait, serenely dreadful and as fixed as fate. So when the embattled clouds in dark array along the skies their gloomy lines display, when now the north his boisterous rage has spent, and peaceful sleeps the liquid element, the low-hung vapours motionless and still rest on the summits of the shaded hill, till the mass scatters as the winds arise, dispersed and broken through the ruffled skies. Nor was the general wanting to his train, from troop to troop he toils through all the plain. Ye Greeks, be men, the charge of battle bear, your brave associates, and yourselves revere. Let glorious acts more glorious acts inspire, and catch from breast to breast the noble fire. On valour's side the odds of combat lie, the brave live glorious, or lamented die. The wretch who trembles in the field of fame meets death, and worse than death, eternal shame. These words he seconds with his flying lance, to meet whose point was strong Deicoon's chance. Cneus' friend, and in his native place, honoured and loved like Priam's loyal race. Long had he fought the foremast in the field, but now the monarch's lance transpierced his shield too weak the furious dart to stay. Through his broad belt the weapon forced its way. The grisly wound dismissed his soul to hell, his arms around him rattled as he fell. Then fierce Cneus, brandishing his blade, in dust Orsilochus and Crethan laid, whose sire Diocleus, wealthy, brave, and great, in well-built Pherae held his lofty seat. 152. Sprung from Alpheus's plenteous stream that yields increase of harvests to the Pylian fields. He got Orsilochus, Diocleus he, and these descended in the third degree. Too early expert in the martial toil, in sable ships they left their native soil. To avenge Atrides now untimely slain, they fell with glory on the Phrygian plain. So 2 young mountain lions nursed with blood, in deep recesses of the gloomy wood, rush fearless to the plains and uncontrolled, depopulate the stalls and waste the fold, till pierced at distance from their native den, o'erpowered they fall beneath the force of men. Prostrate on earth their beauteous bodies lay, like mountain firs as tall and straight as they. Great Menelaus views with pitying eyes, lifts his bright lance, and at the victor flies. Mars urged him on, yet ruthless in his hate, the god but urged him to provoke his fate. He, thus advancing, Nestor's valiant son shakes for his danger, and neglects his own. Struck with the thought, should Helen's lord be slain, and all his country's glorious labours vain. Already met the threatening heroes stand, the spears already tremble in their hand. In rushed Antilochus his aid to bring, and fall or conquer by the Spartan king. These seen, the Dardan backward turned his course, brave as he was, and shunned unequal force. The breathless bodies of the Greeks they drew, then mixing combat and their toils renew. And with that we come to the end of the episode. So, I will say thank you very much for joining me today. If we could just sit back down again, please. There we go. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.